Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I'm going to be there in the services all day today, but I'm taping this a little bit in advance to make sure that, in case of flight cancelizations, airplane breakdowns, etc., that we've got all of this done and ready to go. But I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in the services today. Say, Pastor Summer, where are you? Well, I'm where I spent some of the happiest days of my youth. I'm just a few kilometers from the home that I grew up in down here in Alabama. I'm standing in front of what you would call a swamp area. Just off to the left is Gator Alley, next to the hotel that I'm staying in, and maybe I'll take you down there later and show you some gators. Now, I have no idea where to begin to start today, because when you begin to look at all the passages in Corinthians, it's full, and Job is just overflowing. But I do want to go to Job today. Job is overflowing because there's all kinds of teaching, such as in chapter 24, Job says, God, there's a few things I don't understand that aren't fair. And he talks about men who move the boundary stones and pasture flocks they've stolen. He said, there are preachers out there that pasture flocks that they've stolen. They never went out and led those people to Christ. They never gave birth to those sheep. They just stole those sheep. And then you've got all this incredible teaching on what it's really like to be poor. He talks about how they gather fodder in the fields and glean in the vineyards. They go about their labor of foraging for food. Poor people don't have jobs. Poor people literally forage for food. They live hand to mouth, day to day. But what I want to teach you today is Job. Because as he looked at his life, and God looked at this and bragged on this man, said this man is unique in all the earth, and God was proud of this man, even to the point of bragging on him in Satan's face. But Job also had questions about, where's the justice? Why does God allow these people to get away with this? Why is it, he says over in verse 12 of chapter 24, does God charge no one with wrongdoing? He looks at all of this and says, God, I don't understand. But Job still lived right himself. Now I want you to listen to what he says, beginning in verse 10 of chapter 3. But he knows the way I take. When he tested me, I will come forth as gold. My feet have followed closely his steps. I have kept his way without turning aside. I have not departed from the commands of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my daily bread. Now, in spite of all of Job's questions, in spite of all of Job's confusion about poverty, about suffering, about how the wicked seem to go unpunished, in spite of all that, Job says, as for me, I'm going to live right. I'm going to keep my feet closely to follow his steps. I'm not going to turn aside from his commands. I'm going to treasure the words of his mouth more than my daily bread. I want to challenge you today. We all see a lot of things we don't understand, and sometimes those things hurt us very deeply, especially when our own personal lives are challenged, and like Job, we've, by the grace of God, done our best to live right. But I challenge you, do not give up your integrity. That's the thing that you see again and again in the book of Job. Job did not surrender his integrity. He continued to live right in the middle of the storm. Some of you right now are going through some very difficult times of your life. Don't give up your lifestyle. Continue to pursue God. Continue to follow God. Continue to do all the right that you know to do. And watch God turn it around and bless you.